Only a few days before March 19 primaries, we have a great honor to host Justice Jesse Reyes, a candidate for Illinois Supreme Court. Justice, thank you for taking your time and visiting us.
Dzień dobry.
Dzień dobry. Justice, you must be extremely busy. Tell me, how is it at the final stretch of the campaign?
Yeah, well, it is busy. I enjoy it. I love meeting the public. I love talking to the public and hearing from them a lot of their concerns and their issues that they have with regards to the judiciary. But I love having those conversations and those exchanges with them.
Yeah, I bet those are extremely interesting conversations. What are the key problems that people notice right now in
Well,
Illinois?
there's two that have come up recently, and one is with the issue of former Alderman Edward Burke. You know, his the Attorney Registration Disciplinary Commission, which is the one that is in charge with maintaining the licenses and who shouldn't have their licenses and so on and so forth. But they don't have the final authority. They only make recommendations. They file a complaint, and in his case, they filed the complaint with the Illinois Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court felt that 4 out of the 7 had to recuse themselves. They said they were conflicted. We don't know which 4th it is or what the reason was for their recusal, but they recused themselves, and so by default, you know, former Alderman Ed Burke gets to keep his law license, even though he's already been found guilty and convicted of federal offenses. So that's of concern, because also, you know, by his own admission on the federal wiretaps, he said, you know, that he influenced judges, that, you know, he made judges. You know, he indicated in one situation where the father was basically going to have to do what he wanted done because, you know, he made his daughter a judge. So that's one of the issues that is of interest to a lot of the voters and a lot of the people that I've been talking to here in Cook County.
Absolutely. You mentioned 2 issues. What were the other?
The other issue is my opponent basically made a statement that because the court is made up of 3 African Americans and 4 white or Caucasian individuals, that it's diverse enough, and that so Latinos need not to be considered to be on the Supreme Court to have diversity.
Well, should that be an issue at all? I mean, qualifications and diversity, but I think the qualifications, what you bring to the table and your experience should be the key factor in filling those seats. Just to talk about your experience in
Sure.
judicial system.
So I have been a judge for over 26 years, almost 27 years. I have been an associate judge, I've been a circuit court judge, and now I've been a justice on the appellate court for over 11 years. And one of the things that I did when I first got on the job as an associate judge, I went to the chief judge and I went to the presiding judge, and I said, if anybody dies, goes on vacation, retires, or calls in sick, and you need somebody to fill in, you know, I'm your person. So, and they took me up on that. So for the first few years while I was a judge, my robe was in the trunk because I didn't know where I was going to go from one day to the next. And that literally would happen on many occasions. You know, I was supposed to be in one courthouse, and then I get a call from the individual who makes the assignment, says, no, and we need you to go to Grand and Central, when I was supposed to be at traffic court. But I enjoyed that experience. I enjoyed that opportunity because it exposed me to other areas of the law, both criminal and civil. But it exposed me to other issues that I had never dealt with as a lawyer. For example, I sat in the domestic violence court, and I heard a lot of different cases when I was in domestic violence court. And one of the things that I'm proud of is that there was one case where it was only evidence-based. That means the victim or the person bringing the allegations against the offender wasn't in court. So all the evidence was presented and without the victim coming in. But there was enough evidence there, and there was enough circumstantial evidence together with actual documentary evidence to have a trial and to find the defendant you know, guilty of the charges. That was the first time that it had ever been done in Cook County. I was the first judge to ever hear an evidence-based domestic violence case in Cook County, and that opportunity would not have come along had I not volunteered to be in domestic violence when they needed a judge in domestic violence. And then also when I was in the Chancery Division, and then I was assigned to the mortgage foreclosure cases, you know, the individuals who would come in that didn't have a lawyer, they were not represented. Basically, most of them were homeowners.
Yeah.
They were at a disadvantage because the banks were always represented by lawyers. They knew the statute very well. I knew the statute very well. So what I did was I developed a program to kind of make the playing field even. So no one had an advantage over the other. And as a result of it, we were able to save a lot of homes for a lot of individuals. We weren't able to save everybody, but we were able to save a lot of people from losing their homes. At the height of the crisis, just keep this in mind, we had over 80,000 cases that were filed in Cook County alone, and that came into our courts. So there were a lot of cases that we had to hear, and as a result of it, you know, many people were able to end up saving their homes. So I was very proud of that program that we started, and that was just because I volunteered. Judge Evans was looking for judges to work in this area, and it wasn't a very how would I say popular area or jazzy area in terms of you know, but it was somewhere that they needed a judge to be able to preside over and hear all those cases, and so I volunteered to do that.
And that experience is gathering you a lot of support. And my next question is about the endorsements that you have already received. There's plenty of them. Could you name a few organizations that gave you support?
Yes, okay, but I don't want to get in trouble. But well, the Advocate Society, the Polish Bar Association, you know, so supported me and has endorsed my candidacy. I've been endorsed by a number of the unions, 150. Local 134, 705, the Teamsters, the bricklayers. I was endorsed by several of the police associations. For example, PAPA didn't endorse me because they can't endorse, but they're supporting my candidacy. You know, they gave me a letter saying that they're supporting my candidacy. The Italian American Police Association also has indicated they're supporting my candidacy. The Italian American Political Coalition, they're supporting my candidacy. The United Hellenic Voters Association supporting my candidacy. And one of the things that I'm very proud of about those endorsements is that many of them are coming from ethnic groups. They're coming from individuals that either are immigrants or they're the children, the grandchildren of immigrants. And so we have that in common, and we're related with regards to those issues.
Yes, and I feel that too, that you understand many of our pains, and you understand many of our needs right now. As a Polish community, you are also very visible at Polish events. And
thank you.
I want to thank you for that, and I want to ask you, how important is this relationship that you have with the Polish-American diaspora?
I think it's very important. Growing up in Pilsen, when we first moved into Pilsen, it was predominantly Polish. There was some German, but it was predominantly Polish. And so from a very young age, I learned a lot of the customs, Polish customs and the culture and the food. Yeah, we can't forget about the food. And so I enjoyed that experience, and I developed an affinity with the Polish community as a result of it. And so I've always been a champion for the causes that face, you know, the Polish community. I've always been a supporter of the various organizations. You know, I go to the Chamber of Commerce. And I always attend their events and support them. And I think it's important because we need to help each other. You know, we're all trying to get to the ultimate goal of having the American dream, right? You know, having a nice home and a good education for our children, and you know, so I think it's important that we support each other because we're all in the same situation.
Yeah,
as you know, descendants of immigrants or immigrants ourselves, we're all in the same situation, and I think we need to support each other. So I always enjoy supporting the various Polish events. You know, I was at the White and Red dance. So I firmly believe that. And then also a lot of the Christmas parties I attend as well.
Thank you so much, Jesse. Thank you for being there. And indeed, you are always very warmly received. You're always recognized. And
thank you.
Please don't be a stranger once you become the Illinois Supreme Court Justice.
No.
Cook is a blue county.
Yes.
So the primaries will be even more important than the November elections.
Yes.
So I want to give you this opportunity to address perhaps our viewers directly.
Sure.
And encourage them to vote for you
Yes.
on March 19th.
Thank you. So I'm going to ask everybody to please, when they go to vote, whether you do early voting, look for Jesse Reyes. My punch number is 122. Or if you go to vote on March 19th, please look for my name, Jesse Reyes, and vote for 122. It's important to go out and vote. It's one of our rights, one of our privileges that we have in this country, and we should exercise that right and go out to vote. And when you do, please consider Jesse Reyes, punch number 122. Thank you.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Justice. Thank you for your visit, especially
Thank you.
right now when your time is the most valuable.
No, it's my pleasure to be here. Thank
Good
you.
luck to you in the upcoming elections, and hopefully we'll have an opportunity to talk once you get elected.
Sure, I would be happy to. Yes, thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Justice Jesse Reyes, candidate for Illinois Supreme Court in these upcoming primaries, was our guest tonight. Justice, thank you again.
It's my pleasure. Thank you. Thank you again for the opportunity.